Green News Report.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon.
I have a dream.
Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Help is on the way.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
We turn now to the three Donald Trump allies who've been charged with forgery in Wisconsin in connection to the alleged fake elector scheme. Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas has the details on that story. Pierre, good morning.
Well, good morning. Today, associates who helped former President Trump try to block Joe Biden from becoming president are facing new legal challenges. Two of Trump's attorneys and one of his campaign aides have each been charged with a felony, accused of being part of a scheme where bogus electors tied to Trump would certify him rather than Biden as the next president. The Wisconsin Attorney General charged the men with felony forgery, and each are facing up to 6 years in prison if convicted. Among those charged, attorney Kenneth Chesbrough, who has already pleaded guilty to a conspiracy charge involving a fake elector scheme in Georgia. Wisconsin joins 4 other states that have charged Trump associates in a fake elector scheme, including Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada.
Good Lord, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's an amazing thing to watch every single person around Donald Trump, lawyers included. Chesbrough is a lawyer. Go to jail in multiple states for multiple forgeries, multiple violations of election law, and of course, this is all vindictive prosecution, right? I mean, it's epidemic inside this Trump organization. It's just an amazingly could it be a racketeering, influenced, corrupt organization? Could it be that? Is it possible at all? If I only had a chart. If I only had a chart of the Trump organization and all the people that went to jail.
You see this as a criminal set of enterprises with Donald Trump convicted at the top.
Yes.
Trump's role atop these 3 organizations that are rife with convictions over the last 7 years is revealing.
Oh my God.
It adds a legal finding to what was honestly once a more circumstantial take. And that's not all tonight. We didn't mention the open espionage case, which has similar patterns of aides and lawyers on the hook for Trump's conduct, which has been documented by the documents that they had to take back because they were illegally on his property. I didn't mention Trump's personal legal losses as a civil defendant in other very serious cases like the Carroll case. Now, those cases matter, and we've covered them in many ways, but they involve less of this issue of the criminal enterprises, the formal organizational structure under scrutiny. This criminal enterprise question and the evidence, overwhelming evidence, is important. It is a new lens to look at some long existing facts and long running crime sprees across 2 campaigns and his business, and how his business, a jury has found, was pulled into, of course, covering up a campaign crime. All of this matters.
And so remember that the RICO charges in Georgia are brought by Fani Willis. And what did they do successfully with a live assist from courts? What did they do? They put Fani Willis on trial. That's what they did. You don't like being prosecuted for things that other people in your orbit have already pled guilty to, or other people in your orbit are about to plead guilty to, or other people in your orbit have lost their law licenses over, or other people in your orbit have gone to jail and are still in jail for? Well, then you attack the prosecution. You attack the person who's enforcing the law. You put them on trial. This is the Roy Cohn methodology, okay? You never admit you're wrong, ever. And you put whoever else you can put on trial on trial. Now, I will tell you that, or you find a friendly judge, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the jury is as long as you know the judge. And that's what's going on with the documents case. Here we have a man who we're considering to be commander-in-chief, okay, who is charged under the Espionage Act in Florida, in his home state of Florida. for not just taking the documents. That would be one thing. I mean, you take the documents, you say, oh, I didn't mean to take them, or I didn't know I had them, or let me cooperate with you to get them back. Tell me how you'd like them delivered. I will have them delivered to you. That's fine. It happens to just about everybody who fingers, classified documents. We know a lot of people that have been prosecuted for taking documents and even cooperating to get them back. Still got sentenced. Donald Trump said he didn't have them. It'd be like, well, what about Joe Biden? Joe Biden said he took the... Yes, but Joe Biden cooperated as soon as it was brought to his attention that there might be, some sort of interest in getting documents from his garage back. He said, come on in. Come on in, have a look around. Take what you want. I don't know, whatever's here is in the garage. Go look. Go look, go take. You want to talk to me? Fine. I'll swear me in. I'll answer any questions that you might have. Donald Trump said, I don't have any documents. And if I do have documents, because you planted them. You planted those documents to make me look bad. Okay, that's not true. I have the documents. I took the documents because they're mine. They're mine. And then cites a law that is a 180, exactly opposite of what he says it is. He says, the Presidential Records Act allows me to have these documents. No, the Presidential Records Act says that any presidential documents belong to me. They belong to you. They belong in the National Archives under their care for us, to be preserved for us and our posterity. Yes, that's the law. And he says, oh no, Presidential Records Act means my records are mine when I was president. No, it's exactly the opposite. Anyway, he lied so hard. They gave him a year to return them. He never did. They negotiated a come get them sort of a scenario, right? The FBI went and got them knowing Donald Trump was not going to be on the property because they negotiated this with his lawyers. And then he turns around and says, they tried to assassinate me, and now I have the right to assassinate them. This is what this person does. This is who this person is. And you know what's really sick and sad? He gets security briefings. He gets classified briefings the day he becomes the Republican nominee. The day he becomes the Republican nominee, he's eligible to hear our secrets yet again. I mean, what kind of a system do we have where ethics and laws don't apply to Donald Trump? Ethics and laws don't apply to Clarence Thomas. Ethics and laws don't apply to the Supreme Court justices. The people who interpret the law have no law that applies to them. You could either say it's an error, it needs to be repaired, it's a mistake, it's a flaw in the system, it's a kink in the armor, and fix the armor and tighten it, or you could just give up and say it doesn't work. The whole thing's bogus. The whole thing's broken. And allow a huckster, a con man, a rube, a guy who's going to turn us on each other to do that for his benefit. Again, he did it with COVID. COVID, you have people that turned on, I don't know, we were given health information. We were telling people, what the best practices that we knew were in a novel virus situation, meaning it was brand new. Nobody knew what it was. We didn't even know how it was transmitted. We didn't know if it was on surfaces. We didn't know if we had to wear gloves. We didn't know if we had to disinfect our groceries. We didn't know if we could stand near a person. We didn't know if we could make out with a person. We didn't know if we could have sex with a person. We didn't know anything. But we were lying. And Fauci is the devil, and he's a mass murderer. He created the virus so he can enrich himself, and he testified, I don't know if you heard it the day before yesterday. Do you know how much in royalties Fauci has made from his position at the National Allergy Institute? He makes $120 a year because he developed a monoclonal antibody 25 years ago. That is what his royalties are. And they're accusing him of being a mass murderer for profit. Let me tell you something. That means they want to be mass murderers for profit because everything they accuse good people of doing, they're doing. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.